hate mornings. I got to run my Tales of Argosa game last week. Yes! And it had been a while, so it was so good to get back to the table. Our session was mostly role-playing because the party was following up on the job they'd first started out with. But during their interactions, I also got to introduce a grumpy old hermit with some familiar mannerisms that players who were part of the first campaign in this world were able to pick up on. I do have to say I'm still getting used to Argosa's exploration procedure, but we did have one fight with some giant centipedes along a stream, which was short and sweet. There's no official compendium for Tales of Argosa in Foundry yet, so I'm kind of curating the in-book bestiary as a bit at a time so I can add some adversaries. It's been really fun. As a bonus, I decided to keep my desk in standing position for the session, and I kept walking on my treadmill as we played. That added 2 miles to my walking total for the day, and that was kind of cool too. Speaking of Foundry, it was acting very funny yesterday, and clicking on the different UI elements was frustrating as all get out. Now, I've enjoyed Foundry a lot because it thinks the way that I do, but the last few updates seem to be breaking it more than actually helping it. I am hoping that version 14 shows some usability improvements in areas where it's degraded, and I do like the idea that they're building in levels and multi-monitor support with the new version, so we're going to have to see, but it's been getting a little bit frustrating lately. This month's book for RPG Book Club is Pirate Borg. Now, I read it a while ago, but I'm looking forward to rereading it and then chatting about it with some folks on Sunday, April 26th at 8:30 p.m. And if you want to be part of any chat about the game on my Discord, you can become a coffee contributor and you can get access to the server where that conversation is going on. Hope to see you there. You know, it's fun knowing some folks who will sit down and are willing to try just about any new game that I ask them to. And thanks to them, last night I was able to sit down and finally run the introductory adventure for Monte Cook Games' The Origin. Now, it was not my player's favorite style of game, and we could have used another player or two to make it more exciting, but I got to practice running it, and we did that on a live stream because I'm a glutton for punishment. And I do have to say that their willingness to let me practice that with them so I get to experience a game that I've been really interested in is something I really appreciated. And I hope that GMs out there, you have a similar group of people that will do the same for you. Yeah, I have finished reading Coriolis the Great Dark, and I gotta say I'm more smitten with it than when my character went kaput during a session at GameholeCon last year. I'm making up a couple of crews at the moment, and I want to run a one-shot of it very, very soon, so I need to start writing my review while the rules are relatively fresh in my head. I'm also almost finished reading Redacted, which was created by my friend Al Spader, and the mechanics are really interesting. Because as I read how the characters were set up, I was expecting it to follow a path similar to Modiphius's 2D20 system, but then it just took a left turn and it wound up feeling a bit more like Cypher. And it actually uses D12s for the mechanic, which is even more cool. The setup is also fun for this world building, and so I'm looking forward to this. And Al, here's the thing. I think I need to get you to run a session or two for me very, very soon so I can experience this world faster than I would otherwise. Please? Well, I took a week off and the world went more nuts. Iran didn't make a deal and our crack negotiators gave up chatting, so the Orange decided to say, "You're not blocking the Strait of Hormuz, we're blocking the Strait of Hormuz." Because that's logic for you right there. And since I wrote that the strait has been opened and then closed and then opened and then closed and then tankers have been fired upon and we seized a cargo ship and there's statements about how there's a deal and then there's a statement how there's no deal and there's Lego mocking videos, it's really just a mess. Great job to our regime right now. And while this is going on, 2 congressmen have resigned due to predatory sexual escapades with subordinates. And here's the thing, there's one from each party, so let's not get confused that any of this is about Republicans versus Democrats. Structurally, right now, there is one thing that differentiates the two parties. The Democrats aren't at the point where they want to get their way by instituting an illiberal democracy with one-party rule. I'll take it for now, but the reality is we've got to dislodge the Christian nationalists from power first, And then the sooner both these parties fall apart, the better for all of us. Now, while this is all going on, the Orange has gotten into a Twitter spat with the Pope and then posted an image depicting himself as Christ healing someone. And the Orange said it was supposed to be him as a doctor because he doesn't know what doctors wear, I guess. I don't know. And then Vice President Eyeliner decided that he was going to distract from that by trying to out-theologize the Pope. That worked out really well. Meanwhile, prices are still going up. Congress, by its virtue of inaction, has decided that it has no power because Mike Johnson is a wet piece of toast. And the Supreme Court actually heard a case about birthright citizenship that's been settled for like over 100 years. And I just can't wait for that opinion to be released because what could possibly go wrong? Now, at least I will say this. For some of the nationalists, Orange Man Jesus was enough for them to say that it was the spirit of Antichrist. Well, welcome to the party, folks. We've been pointing this out for over a decade, but you haven't quite got there yet. You need to take another step because this is not the spirit of Antichrist, as though there's some outside influence that is manipulating Trump to do this. By virtue of his continuous actions, the Orange is an, it's not just an Antichrist. No more dodging. You see what you see. Actually face up to it. You know, with the world burning, it sometimes feels weird to be talking about games and then actually running a gaming convention, because in the grand scheme of things, it feels unimportant. But then I remember escape is important for human psychology. Now, look, folks often think about escape as being a refusal to even acknowledge reality during an event or an activity. That is not escape, that's delusion. Escape is being able to imagine good and then dream about the ability to grasp it in the face of all the horror trying to erase all that good that we long for. That's escape. So escape is Sam, collapsing next to Frodo deep in Mordor, imagining the good things of the Shire, which at that point he realized he was never going to see again. And those thoughts buoyed him to sit up. And then when he was talking about it with Frodo, and Frodo admitted that he couldn't see those things anymore, the escape that Sam had gone through empowered him to pull up his friend and to keep going. See, that's what escape is. We pull back like a spiritual retreat so that we'll be able to continue forward. And if you need an escape so you can face the madness of our world, then I am happy to offer you one. Just from this channel in general, but if you're in the area, ECCLESICON is happening May 1st and 2nd in Palmyra, New Jersey. We'll play games, we'll create stories, and hopefully we'll make some friends as we're reminded about the good there is, even in a mad world. And all along, we're going to be raising some money for the church roof and for booksmiles.org, spreading some good even as we escape to remember it. So come on out, roll some dice with me. I want to shout out two of my creative friends whom I would not have were it not for this hobby. Dave Ward is someone anyone who watches this channel should already know. He's a talented game designer, a good guy, and my partner on the Ocean Incident. He's also on my Ramble streams all the time. Go check out Grimwood Games because he makes good stuff and there's more in the pipeline that I find exciting. And Jason Campbell, who also will appear on our channel every now and again, is a really good guy and developer who created a Weird West version of Cypher System called Six Gun Doomsday, which is on sale now. And he's an old school creative with a blog, Shadomain.com, which has got some fantastic interviews and articles. I encourage folks, go take some time and head over to peruse some of those posts because it is worth your time. And in the coming weeks, I'm going to shout out some more of my creative friends because if you haven't already, I'd like you to meet them. I alluded to this earlier, but a while back, a retiring congregant gifted to me a standing desk and walking treadmill. And I used it for a while, but since the end of the pandemic, it's been sitting over in my church office not getting used, and that's bugged me. I just don't go over there much anymore to work. But in the past couple of weeks, it's come over to my house, and I've been able to set up a more permanent studio for myself, which I love. And so now, here it is, and I'm getting some exercise, standing and moving. It's keeping me more focused, and in general, I'm just feeling better. And as I mentioned, for my Tales of Argosa campaign, I decided to keep the desk in standing position, and I just kept walking. It was awesome. My players didn't really notice. The session went well. I wasn't fighting sleep, and I walked, as I said, about 2 miles as we played. It was all pretty cool. I love this thing. It's dawned on me that my closest friends, at least right now, have become my friends through these wild games that we all play. Now, some of these friendships have been born through interactions on the channel and then meeting folks at conventions, and others have emerged because they played at my tables. Loneliness is a huge problem in our culture, and hobbies like role-playing games can help us to not feel so alone. It's not a cure-all for loneliness, because no hobby is, but it's a good thing, and I am grateful for the friends that I have made through it. Thank you, folks. I've already mentioned our upcoming book club stream, but keep a lookout for ECCLESICON updates, a review of Coriolis the Great Dark, updates on the progress with the Orchan incident, and an awesome stack of games that I can't wait to read and bring to the channel, including finishing up Al Spader's Redacted. This is going to be a blast. So until we see each other again, folks, happy playing, everyone.